This is Standing Watch. And now, Evangelist Norbert Link.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our Standing Watch program. We published an article which was written on March 2 in The Week, having this to say. Here's a scenario. President Trump uses a threat of a pandemic to severely restrict international travel to the United States and institutes stringent new limits on U.S. citizens' ability to travel abroad, including a near-complete embargo on visits to China and other countries where coronavirus outbreak coincides, in Trump's mind, with an economic threat to America. And then the article went on to say, as the coronavirus crisis is used to curtail international travel, we would do well to take care from the outset that measures are as minimal as possible and firmly bounded by expiration dates. Draconian travel restrictions are not an inconceivable outcome here, and if history is any guide, once done, they won't be easy to undo. That almost sounds prophetic, because now we have a European travel ban. And the announcement was made by President Trump this week in a most convoluted and inconsistent way, prompting all kinds of quote-unquote clarifications after he had made the announcement. And of course, European countries are affected, and the outcry and condemnation of this travel ban, of course, was predictable, should have been predictable. First, there was panic at the airports. Americans trying desperately to meet the deadline of Friday night and come back from those European airports, can't get tickets, being stranded or having to pay astronomical amounts to be able to come back. The World Health Organization condemned that travel ban issued by Donald Trump. The Association of Flight Attendants stated that there is no explanation for how this will help fight the spread of the virus. They said it's irresponsible what President Trump announced. It makes little sense when the virus is already in the United States. And then they point out that the president expressly stated the United Kingdom, and later he clarified it also includes Ireland, is not included in the travel ban, and yet the UK health minister herself has a virus. Now you figure that. CNBC wrote on March 11 that calling coronavirus a foreign virus, Trump attacked Europe for not taking the same actions to control the disease that he had. Now let me just interject. In January of 2017, I did a Standing Watch program titled Trump Declares War on Europe. At that time it had to do with the economic situation. Now he is declaring war on Europe again, and this time in a much broader and all-encompassing way. The article goes on to say, Trump later clarified in a tweet that cargo and goods would not be affected by the ban, even though he had said that in his announcement. So the White House then clarified, saying that Trump had quote-unquote misspoken. Well, he didn't misspeak. He gave his speech because it was written for him by anti-immigrant, right-wing, hardcore guru Stephen Miller. And Trump just read from the teleprompter what he was given, perhaps not even realizing himself what all he was saying, but nevertheless, he is responsible, and the damage was done. Europe responds in this way, according to The Guardian. The EU has condemned Donald Trump's unilateral ban, in a joint statement, the presidents of the European Commission and European Council defended Europe's record and sharply criticized the White House for its failure to consult its allies. He didn't even tell them anything. Nobody knew anything. They were completely caught by surprise when this announcement was made. And quite frankly, when he made the announcement, he was visibly nervous. Because why? He contradicted everything he had said until this point about the coronavirus. Contradicted everything. AFP wrote on March 12 that Trump failed completely. If Americans watching television might have been confused, investors were in shock. The White House quickly issued a clarification that no, trade was not being halted between the European Union and the United States, but the damage was done. They also say, well, now wait a minute. If it only talks about those Schengen countries, those who are part of the Schengen agreement in Europe, what happened to the 22 other non-Schengen countries which are exempted from this ban? And then they say there is another convenient side effect to Trump's partial travel ban. They exempt nations where 3 Trump-owned golf resorts are located. We have been hearing a lot about the bad appearance of Biden's son when he became such a high-paid board member of this controversial Ukrainian company. Well, here we have a similar bad appearance for sure, whether it was done intentionally or not. The Money Week, which is normally not anti-Trump at all, wrote on March 12, markets are having another bruising day. The specific catalyst today is Donald Trump's somewhat garbled and last-minute decision to shut the US to passenger air traffic from Europe. Basically, he sounded incompetent. Now that's mild in comparison to what others have said. The Guardian wrote on March 12, Trump in a time of coronavirus is a lethal combination. Everything about the president make him the worst person imaginable to hold the world's most powerful job in the face of pandemic. Confronting the threat requires global cooperation, perhaps more than at any time since the Second World War. But Trump and his junior imitators around the world have taken a sledgehammer to the very notion of international solidarity. America's closest allies were given no prior notice. The EU mission in Washington only found out about it when journalists started calling. Have you ever heard such insanity? Such absolute incompetence? Well, I have said because we have similar situations going on in Europe, also in Germany, where you have a young health minister, just 39 years old, making drastic decisions. And I have said, well, these young people, they don't have the competence to make these drastic decisions. They're too young. But then I also had to say, well, of course, old age doesn't protect against foolishness either. So we have a world right now which is in complete, total insanity. That's what we have. I have been saying this for years, that a nuclear war is going to take place. And the United States of America is going to be affected by it, will be involved in it. Can you imagine what's going to happen when you look at the situation now in comparison regarding a mild threat? A mild threat in comparison. And look at the incredible panic-driven reactions. Many years ago, I read an article. It stated, this is a mad, 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 mad world. I want to get out. That was many, many years ago. How much more mad has this world become? Think in terms of all the things which have been cancelled, all the events, and think in terms of the economy, which is being destroyed. We are destroying our economy in the way we are handling or mishandling this entire crisis. NCAA, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, the MLS, Major League Soccer, everything has been put on hold. Everything has been postponed or cancelled. And of course, the economy is going downhill. I mean, these are extremely prosperous endeavors, which at this point are being put on hold, whether it's concerts, whether it's the airline industry, the cruise ship industry, and now even churches, in an incredible attempt to quote-unquote deal with the crisis, are shutting down, canceling services. I'm aware of one organization, they have been canceling services for 2 weeks all over the world. No matter how big or how small the congregation is, and no matter whether there is any danger of coronavirus or not. I mean, this is incredible short-sightedness. It's a panic-driven fear. It's something which is absolutely not to be felt and cannot be justified in the Bible. But listen to this. The former German vice-chancellor is running a paper, the Project Syndicate, and that's what that paper wrote on March 6. Science, not prayers, will be needed to contain a disease that threatens the globe. With that kind of an attitude, we are walking right into the abyss. I haven't heard a lot about God. I haven't heard a lot about God's protection and trust and faith in God. Science is supposed to help us? They don't even know what they're talking about right now. And we are dismissing God and throwing him out of our considerations? And we think we could be possibly successful? It's all driven by fear. You know, schools are being closed all over the place. As I said, it's all driven by fear. It's a panic. Now, the idea that Europe didn't do enough, I mean, that is ridiculous in the sense that Europe has been doing things in a much overblown fashion. Think of Italy. The whole country is being shut down. Other countries are following that bad example. I'm getting reports from Europe on a daily basis. Stores are being closed all over in Germany, France, Austria, Spain. Nothing can be bought anymore, even if stores are still open. The shelves are empty. Completely, totally empty. We are already seeing the same kind of a phenomenon here in the United States of America. I found this article rather interesting. It was written by the Daily Star, a British paper, on March 11, prior to President Trump's ill-conceived speech. It says here, the human race is in grave danger. Thousands of people are showing severe symptoms already, and there is no known cure. No, not coronavirus, but sheer stupidity. Never have so many brain cells been sacrificed on the altar of toilet paper fever. It's talking about these people going out and buying toilet paper. They will never knew that and need that and use that. It goes on to say, respiratory diseases are responsible for killing thousands of Brits every year. In 2017-18, the Office for National Statistics recorded more than 50,000 excess winter deaths in England and Wales, which they contributed and attributed to the strain of flu that year, an ineffective vaccine. We don't even have one against the coronavirus. They tell us it's probably going to last a year until we get one. By that time, you know, the virus they have developed the vaccine for has probably changed. And then, of course, that vaccine is no longer good anyhow, plus which nothing is being said about side effects, which all the vaccines do have. It goes on to say, yet did that send you into a tailspin of bog, roll, and pasta? No. So can we all stop being hysterical and get a grip? Well, sadly, we didn't stop being hysterical. We didn't get a grip. It got worse. It is getting worse. My friends, World War III is coming. Imagine how it's going to be when World War III is coming. And let me also say this right now, and I want to go on record that I have said it. I have said before that when President Trump announced that he would run for president, I said from these very corners that he is going to be the next president. And people said, you're stupid, that's ridiculous, no way, can't happen. It did happen. With the same confidence, I am telling you that Trump is going to be reelected, no matter what. No matter how it's going to end up here with this coronavirus circus. He's going to be reelected. And during his term, World War III is going to happen. I have no doubt about it. And we should be prepared for that. A nuclear war in the United States of America. Can you imagine what the outcome, what the reaction will be? Well, God is offering you a way out. This World War III of which I speak is also called in the Bible the Great Tribulation. And God is offering protection for those who are worthy. All of this and much more is being discussed in our free booklet, How Can We Know That Christ's Return is Near? Because after the Great Tribulation has started, the Bible tells us Christ will come back soon and swiftly to make an end to this madness. Because if he were not to come back, to shorten those days, no human being would be saved alive. Do you know the seriousness of the time? Do you know what all of this means, what we can already see right now? When, as the Bible says, children are ruling our nations. That's where we are, my friends. You need a free copy of this booklet. We'll be happy to send it to you. You need to study this. You need to look up the scriptures we are quoting in the Bible to see where we are and what is going to happen and what you must do to protect yourself and your loved ones. There is something you can do, but it's not based on what I have talked about today, the science and the Messiah of the science, to help us. And all this coronavirus circus and the panic-struck fears. I was watching a movie last night where it was said, fear is a bad counselor. We should remember that, because that is in fact very true. Until next time, this is Norbert Link for the Standing Watch program.
Standing Watch is a presentation by The Church of the Eternal God, P.O. Box 270519, San Diego, California 92198. More information is also available at our website, eternalgod.org.